I've been involved in air racing since about 2006.
Okay.
Okay, and it happened at a conference that two women, myself and my future partner,
Wow.
were walking through a Women in Aviation conference, and we see this sign that says Air Race Classic. I said, well, what is this? And they said, oh, well, we race airplanes cross country. I said, well, what does it take to be able to do that? And they said, 500 hours or an instrument rating for one of you.
Okay.
I said, shoot, we can do that. And they said, do you have an airplane? I said, I do.
Wow.
And we said, I looked at the woman with me and I said, you want to do it? She said, sure. So it was right about the time that we had to finish registration. April 1st is usually the end of registration. It was very close to that. So we worked all night, filled out the forms, walked down, had the check in hand and said, can we sign up?
Oh my
And
God.
they said there was one requirement. What was that? They said you have to pick a number for your tail.
Okay.
Okay. What kind of number? And she says, it really needs to have a 1 because that means the number will be narrow and it'll fit on the tail better.
Okay.
I said, okay, what number with a 1? She says, 19. The woman I was with, her birthday was on the 19th. And I said, we're Team 19. And I have held that number now for 11 races.
Wow. And when is the next race?
The next race is June, the 3rd week of June next year.
Okay.
And we will start registration on January 2nd, and that will end April 1st. I was close to retirement.
Okay.
I retired in 2001. I was approaching retirement, and I said, you know, I want to do something different, something that will change my life.
There you go.
Okay, but what? I had no idea. And one day I went to my mailbox, and there was a sheet of paper that said, learn to fly.
Wow.
I said, that will be it. I will learn to fly. So I went down to the local airport. It was in Indianapolis.
Okay.
And I thought they'd laugh at me.
Uh-huh.
You know, who's this old woman that's walking And the fellow said, oh no, you're fine. We've got a ground school starting. Everything is cool. Go ahead, pick your instructor. I said, how do I do that? Well, you got these 3 guys. I said, you're going to be my instructor. So I started learning, and after 7 hours, they ran out of aircraft. It was a very popular time to be learning to fly, and airplanes, it was just difficult. So they said, what would you like to do? And I said, well, I don't want to spend my life learning how to fly. I want to get my ticket. And so I'll buy one. They said, you'll buy an airplane. I said, what if you don't like this? And I said, then I'll sell it.
Perfect.
So they said, they gave me a trader plane, which I still can't read properly.
Okay, yeah.
And I said, these are all used. I'll buy a new one. And they said, yeah, a new airplane. And so I bought a new 172.
Oh.
I still have her.
Okay.
We call her Precious. She's in wonderful shape. She's on her 2nd engine. And I've flown her in the race 4 times.
Wow.
And so and then I met my husband at the airport.
Oh, did you really?
Went flying, and he says, little girl, do you want to go for a ride? And I said, sure. So that was history. And now we create aircraft businesses. We have 2. One is for the selling of used aircraft.
Okay.
And the other one is to certify new aircraft mechanics. DME Services of North Florida is the DME, and that's the primary.
Okay.
And then our sales business is under Bachman Aviation.
Okay.
And that's my maiden name because I created that company when I bought my first airplane.
As well?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Instrument, commercial.
Okay. Are single?
Seaplanes.
Seaplanes? What about multi? Have you done
Yeah, I'm
multi?
multi-rated.
Wow, so you've pretty much got all your commercial ratings that you can get at this point.
Yeah.
So tell me, and you raced the 172.
And the 182,
Oh,
which I had for a while.
Okay.
It's a 4-day race.
Okay.
It's got a designated course. We start with the idea of having a start and a terminus. that have been committed to, because those are really big organizational commitments by whatever city those are in.
Okay.
Then we design about 8 or 9 300-mile legs that connect those two spots.
Okay.
At each of those points, at the end of each of those legs, is a timing point. Okay, so you'll take off, you'll cross a timing line that starts your time.
Okay.
You'll go 250 miles, 300 miles to the next point at the best altitude you can figure. You, try to catch the winds. Okay, and you've got weather to deal with, so you take that into consideration, and then you cross a timing line at the next point.
Okay.
You have a decision. You can either continue if you've got enough fuel for the second leg. I could with the 182, the 172 usually means I stop and fuel each time.
Okay.
So you measure your time, then you're off the clock. You can come back, check the weather, eat lunch, whatever, and if you choose to stay overnight, you can. Okay, and then you start it again. You cross the timing line with a low flyby, which are wonderful. Those are done at about 200 feet maximum. The whole race is full throttle.
Okay. Oh, really?
Absolutely.
Really?
Full throttle.
Okay.
Oh, and after you've done that for a while, you never fly
You're not worried
any other
about the
way.
fuel, are you? You're just burning fuel. You're not worried about it.
That's exactly right. So, and we have a variety of aircraft. Cessnas tend to be the most popular, but we have Bonanzas and Pipers and Cirruses, and we've got everything from usually 1954 models to brand new, which started in 1929 to prove that women could race. They became the Women's Air Derby. And it followed the course and ended in Cleveland. Was a big splash, and they said, we're going to continue this. And it went through different permutations, different names. It was called the Powder Puff Derby for a while, and so forth. And in the 70s, the late 70s, the older structure ended, and the new structure, which is now run, this is going to be the 44th running, that began, and you have 2 or 3 pilots, the 2 that are touching the controls have to have a minimum of 100 hours PIC, and then one of them has to have 500 hours or an instrument.
So there's
rating.
2 or 3 pilots in each plane?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. And you just take turns flying different legs?
That's your choice.
Okay.
You have designated responsibilities. If you are a pilot, obviously you're piloting the plane, but if you are the co-pilot, which actually is the most difficult of the 2 roles, you're keeping track of all the paperwork, all the instructions. The last thing you want are penalties.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay? The flyby instructions have to be done precisely according to the instructions, because we are on FAA waivers over the airports. I mean, it's 200, 300 feet. So they are all handicapped. Everybody has a handicap. And the handicap is set at a designated altitude of 6,000 density altitude. It's done in a square. And you measure the stable points in that square, not when you're making the turn. And those numbers are then run through an algorithm, and you come up with your best performance. So you're actually racing against yourself. If you're looking for something that is a challenge, something that you never stop learning with, that you continue to have amazing experiences. The air race itself is a wonderful way to test your capabilities, as well as to meet people, to go places that open up opportunities for jobs. So for young women, it's a marvelous opportunity. Most young women, if they've gone to school, they end up having very limited circumstances where they are flying and what they are flying. This puts a whole new purview on that, what they can experience. They will also meet amazing women. These are women from every walk of life, whether they are doctors or writers or educators retired housewives, whatever, nurses. You have this incredible range, and they all love aviation. They all bring something special.